Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to day 4 of our 5-day action challenge. Today, I want to talk about a subject that I found a lot of people are very keen and very quick on wanting to dive into once they open up on their path of spirituality. I get very often asked, how do I know who my guide is? Do I have one? Do I have many? What's his or her name? How do I find out? How can I do this? And I thought I'm gonna dive a little bit into this subject because this is actually not very difficult. It is something that we all can do. Again, for me, being intuitive, being spiritually inclined is not a gift. It is an ability that we all born with, that we all have. Yes, some are maybe a bit more talented in it, just like some people are talented writers, some people are talented speakers, some people are very talented with their music instruments. And that's the same with intuition and spirituality. So for some, it comes easy, and some have to work a bit harder. But at the end of the day, we all have it. We all have it in us. We're all born with it. We are born as intuitive beings. So it is really important to clarify that. Another thing that is just something that is very clear to me as well, having worked with many people. We are all receiving a guardian angel at birth. That guardian angel will be staying with us until the day we pass this lifetime. So that is very important. So we always have that. And then we also have often many guides. I have a lot of guides. Reason for that is generally when we ask for divine guidance, for example, in regards to our family, there are lots of spirits, beings, creatures out there that are ready to help, but not everybody brings the experience. So you will get the choice, and I say here choice specifically because you can decline that guide as well. You have free will. If you do not want to have a particular guide, you can say, no, you're not for me. Why is that important? It means that you can make sure that the guide you receive or the guides that come to you, they are your spiritual team. And they will be with you for as long as you need them. And most of them will stay till the end of your lifetime, this lifetime. Now, I, for example, have my guardian angel. I have a spiritual guide as medical intuitive. I have lovely Therese Neumann, who joined me when I first opened up with spiritual gifts. And she is very much about the connection to Jesus. She was a German nun. So it's quite interesting that she came through right at the beginning. And she's still there with me. And she always she makes me laugh, reminds me that it is the most important thing is love. Giving love, receiving love, feeling love for yourself. It's she's amazing. Then I have two guides that came with me from a past life, from my ancestral lineage. And I also got another couple of guides that I work with specifically for healing. One of them, he joins me when I have bound clients. So he's basically below my table when I'm above the table. And if there's energy work to be done, then he will bounce it back to me. So see what I mean? There's a lot of different guides for different reasons. I have a guide that came forth to help me to step more in my feminine. So she's just purely there to remind me that it is okay to shed layers, that it is okay to be vulnerable, that it is okay to show yourself. So there's a lot of different guides, but how do you get to there? How do you find out who your guides are and if you deal with them? And this is really a very simple process that just needs discipline. So if you do want a guide, or you know you have a guide, but you would like to connect deeper, you really have to find yourself some space. And then you ask this guide to show themselves to you. Now, won't be necessarily visually. Sometimes there's a knowing. Some would have just like one of my guides, she does this. So I know she's here when I feel this. Another one pushed my shoulder down. So there's all these different signs. Don't you think you have to see them or be aware of their presence? I sort of have a mix. So I feel their actions, I also feel their presence, and I know where they sort of are around me, if they are behind me or next to me. And it all depends to what I'm doing. If I'm working, if I'm doing my healing circle, or if I'm doing a distance healing, or if I'm working one-on-one with somebody, if I'm doing the bone. But what they all had in common, the only way I got closer to them was spending time with them, asking them. So first of all, for example, I asked for a new guide to come through. I think the most obvious was the medical intuition. So I just sat down and said, I'd like to have the most divine specialist sent forth for my energy to work with me as a medical intuitive. And then there came Newton Braxton. He said, hi, I'm here. I'd like to help you. So I was a bit like, okay, so what's your name? I'm normally not really good with names because names never had much importance to me. Never had. And never was a child that went out and asked someone for their name. For once, I forgot them instantly, and they just don't play a major role for me because I pick up obviously people's energies. So with him, so I sat there, I said, oh, cool. So what have you been doing? So he told me a bit of his background, or in my case, he showed me pictures because I'm a very visionary person. So I could see pictures of his past, of his scientific researches he's done. And then we slowly got to his name. So I asked his name and he told me, and I was like, huh? Uh-huh. And until I got it right. And so now, and then you have to keep the connection going. So you don't just want to know they're there. You actually have to practice this connection. You have to practice the communication. So you know you can fall back onto them and communicate with them. Especially in what I'm doing with my medical intuitive healings, I do need to have some backup in case my ego steps in, because then I can say, okay, that's me assuming or me thinking or me coming from my understanding. What are you telling me is going on? And I then can communicate. So it is it sounds very simple, and it is. You really have to just take the time, ask for the most divine guide to come forth for this or for that. Wait till someone rocks up. And then work out if you deal with that guide and ask them if they want to stay. And if they're happy to stay, then you work on the connection. And that's how you work out your guides. There is really no bigger secret behind this. And I can guarantee you, every single one of you can do this. All of you, if you are willing to. If you're telling yourself, I can't hear, I can't see, if you're just trying to perceive with one of your senses, then that will be difficult. If you are open to perceive in whichever way, it will come to you. Something will come to you. So that's my secret about connecting to your guides. And I promise you, if you give it a go and again and stick with it, it will come, it will happen. It takes practice. Okay. This is like learning how to ride your bike. You're not jumping on your bike and can ride it all of a sudden perfect, do you? You actually have to practice. Same with swimming. And this is the same with that. So if you are interested, if you are curious and you think this is where you want to head to, this is what you want to be able to do, you will be able to do it. And you just have to be disciplined in getting there. I hope this makes sense. Please ask any questions if there are any. And if you have any tips or advices for other people, how to get there. I know there's beautiful other programs out there about how you open up to your own skills, abilities, how you open up to gifts, if you want to call them gifts. As I said, I still believe they just abilities we all born with. There are different kind of meditations that guide you along the way. But this is my why, how I always work best, how I always guided my clients to get there. And it's, for me, that's just the most authentic, most honest way of connecting to a guide. I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, which will be the last day of our 5-day action challenge. Bye for now. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.